In other news now, former Uvalde CISD Chief Pete Arredondo and former district officer Adrian Gonzales faced a judge today. Each was indicted for their role in the Robb Elementary school shooting in 2022.
Arredondo hit with 10 counts of child endangerment, Gonzales with 29. The I-Team's Jordan Elder inside the courtroom today where emotions ran high.
No phones or cameras were allowed inside, but I can tell you the whole mood shifted when Pete Arredondo walked into that courtroom. For a lot of the families of the victims, this is the first time that they've actually seen him face to face since the day of the tragedy. Obviously, that was very emotional for them. The family section was entirely full. They actually told the district attorney that there wasn't enough space for all of them who wanted to come inside and listen to this hearing. The district attorney, Christina Mitchell-Busby, did go back to each of the families quietly before the hearing started to tell them what to expect. Some of them had questions for her, others chose not to make eye contact. Pete Arredondo's attorney, Paul Looney, says he was unprepared to argue the motion today to quash Arredondo's indictment, so they're expected to take that up the next time they meet. The district attorney's office filed a response to that motion to quash, and so now Paul Looney's office is asking for 3 or 4 days to review it. As of right now, Nicola Hood, who's representing Adrian Gonzales, another UCISD officer, said they hadn't seen any evidence so far. The DA's office turned over hard drives to both co-defendants today, saying that the files on there are about 3,500 pages, and there are actually still more things to come in terms of evidence. Looney says this is going to be a monumental task to go through all of that footage and all of those documents. When we spoke with Mr. LaHood after the hearing, he said something similar.
It's a voluminous case. There's a lot of evidence. We've been told that the report is 3,500 pages. Just the report alone, not to mention all the other evidence.
We also got to speak to families of some of the victims, including Jesse Rizzo, who described what it was like to see Pete Arredondo in person for the first time.
You know, it kind of takes the wind out of you. Coming head to head with Arredondo, seeing him outside as I was walking in was nerve-wracking. It was very emotional.
You'll remember last week, Customs and Border Protection released their report about what happened on May 24th at Robb Elementary, and that was a big topic in court today. Both the district attorney's office and Pete Arredondo's attorney say they want to get unredacted versions of that report so that they could potentially call witnesses, and they told the judge that right now CBP is not cooperating with that. They are expected to have to subpoena the agency, but then there are issues about if a state judge is subpoenaing a federal agency, so they have a lot to work out there as well. We'll keep an eye on that for you. For now, from Uvalde, I'm Jordan Elder.
And it is worth mentioning in this case, we're still a long way out from a trial. Another pretrial hearing has been set for December.
The only 2 police officers indicted for their role in the Robb Elementary mass shooting faced a judge today, and several families of the victims were there as well. As the I-Team's Jordan Elder explains, this court appearance took an emotional turn. It
was a discovery hearing today in Uvalde, but emotions were still very high in that courtroom. For a lot of the families that were present, it was the first time that they've seen Pete Arredondo face to face since the tragedy at Robb Elementary almost 2.5 years ago. Family members filled up almost the entire left side section of the courtroom, and that was left reserved for them. The district attorney also came and spoke with families before the hearing, asking if they had any questions and kind of telling them that this was going to be a quick proceeding that day. But after the hearing, one of the families actually ended up getting escorted out. Ruven Torres was raising his voice, asking questions to the district attorney. She reminded him of courtroom protocol, but as he continued kind of raising his voice, she did end up having him escorted out. But he spoke with us soon after he left the building.
People that should be representing these children, which is our local DA and the state, they're still obviously waiting for reports, or they waited for this federal report that came out, what was it, last week from the Border Patrol. So that's going to prolong things. Right now they're telling us, limiting our family members of how many can go in there and represent each child that's going in there. I mean, to me, that just, bully. They're bullying, the family members that already had gone through enough.
We are still a long ways out from this case going to trial, but there is another pretrial hearing set for evidence coming up on December 19th. We'll bring you all of that coverage from Uvalde. For now, I'm Jordan Elder.
Attorneys say they want unredacted versions of the Border Patrol report about the police response at Robb Elementary. The redacted version came out last week. Prosecutors say more evidence from Uvalde police body cams is also expected soon.
We appreciate you watching. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button to get all the latest news right here.